In our interactions with others, we often encounter situations where we face opposing points of view. These situations can become particularly challenging when the other party is being unreasonable. Taoism, a philosophy that emphasizes harmony and balance, offers valuable insights on how to navigate these encounters with grace and composure. Chapter 45 of the Tao Te Ching reads, "The greatest accomplishment may appear ordinary, but its greatness lies in its eternal utility. The greatest abundance may appear unimpressive, but its greatness lies in its inexhaustibility. Similarly, the straightest line may seem skewed, the greatest intelligence may seem idiotic, and the greatest communication may seem confounding. Movement overcomes cold, stillness overcomes heat. To help bring equilibrium to the world, just relax, take it easy, and the world will flourish, despite any of our efforts to understand it." The fact that things aren't always what they seem has spawned a field of popular catchphrases. Don't judge a book by its cover, looks can be deceiving, and so on. Of course, the more pernicious a problem may be, the more parables we need to keep reminding ourselves about the problem. Sadly, all the crocheted wall hangings and internet memes in the world aren't preventing people from jumping to conclusions, falling for illusions, and getting hung up on delusions. Because it is surface appearance which hits the eye first, we often look no further and thus are easily undermined by what lies beneath. Yet superficiality is not necessarily a shortcoming of character, it's a hardwired problem of human perception. Primates evolved to find fruit and elude fanged predators, not consider the subtleties of nature, geometry, and economics. During caveman times, those of us with the limberest minds were probably the first to be eaten. Cognitive psychology has done a great job of ferreting out biases to which humans are prone, but it takes a lot of training to immediately recognize these biases. Most of us don't have the time nor the patience for such determined sleuthing. Moreover, you're not likely to win many friends if you continually point out how self-deluded we all are. Despite the challenges, however, there is a simpler way. By merely adopting a Taoist attitude in our day-to-day lives, we can help keep the windows of our perception cleansed. The concept of Wu Wei, which could be understood as the practice of not trying to force anything, is applicable to not only the concept of action, but also, by extrapolation, reaction. In the same way that action is meant to be undertaken without struggle, so does it counsel that reaction be allowed to rise and then fall away. The problem with our reactions isn't so much that they occur, but that we grasp them so tightly. Truly, only a saint can get hit in the face and not get angry. Like everyone else, a Taoist practitioner may naturally react to such a slight, but the emotion and corresponding judgment are likely to pass away much more rapidly. This is probably one of the reasons why Taoist sages are portrayed as laughing so much, rather than take things personally. They recognize that so much of human behavior is fundamentally ridiculous, even when it's directed towards them. Another important aspect to consider is the nature of our attachment to our own opinions and the need to be right. Taoists learn to hold opinions lightly as they try to hold the tension between having opinions about matters while being mindful of the needs of others. Often conflicts escalate because we are too attached to our perspectives and unwilling to let go. By practicing detachment and recognizing that our viewpoint is just one of many, we can engage with the unreasonable person without becoming entangled in a battle of egos. Cultivation of contentment and gratitude is seen in Taoist practice as the root of non-attachment, and a Taoist is unlikely to be easily goaded into playing status games with others, as they are relatively free of status anxiety. Observing the situation without judgment is also crucial. Instead of reacting impulsively to the unreasonable behavior, taking a step back to understand the underlying issues can provide clarity and help us respond more thoughtfully. This non-reactive approach allows us to maintain our composure and not be easily swayed by superficial appearances, most of the time anyways. Gentle persuasion is another tool in the Taoist arsenal. Instead of direct confrontation, using tact and diplomacy to guide the conversation toward a more constructive outcome can be more effective. Asking open-ended questions, showing empathy, and finding common ground can help diffuse tension and foster understanding. There are times, however, when the best course of action is to disengage from the conversation. Recognizing when no productive outcome is possible and choosing to step back is not a sign of defeat, but a wise acknowledgement of the limits of the situation. Lastly, approaching the unreasonable person with compassion can sometimes break down barriers. Understanding that their behavior might stem from fear, insecurity, or misunderstanding can help us respond with kindness and patience, opening the door to more fruitful interactions. By integrating these Taoist principles into our interactions, we can navigate conflicts with unreasonable people in a way that preserves our inner peace and promotes harmony. Just as the Taoist will not overreact to an insult, he or she will also not be so easily distracted by the superficial. Thus, the non-reactive mind has the wherewithal, composure, and curiosity to peer behind the curtain and see what else is there.